How to get more traffic on Etsy. This is one of the questions from a previous video that I want to answer in this video. I'm currently trying to fix the SEO for 250 listings. It's time consuming. I get around 20 to 30 views a day. Some days a bit higher, but not much. I can't afford to run ads, so any tips would be appreciated. So traffic, you want to get more traffic. You don't want to run ads because you've tried running ads and it costs you way more money. And where do you find this traffic and what do you need to do? So it looks like you're trying to make an attempt where you're changing the SEO and you think that maybe that's where the traffic is going to come from. This is a common tactic. You're kind of following a YouTube, recommendation. And I've seen a lot of YouTubers say more listings equals more views. This is just a logic that is becoming more and more false as the algorithm is more and more able to, throw away all the junk listings or all this approach of just the more listings, the better. Imagine if 1 million people thought that and created 200 listings. That's 200 million listings. And so the algorithm has to sift through all that. And so you can imagine that there is an intentional pushback against this method. So I want to kind of push back against this method. Now, the second thing I want to push back against is thinking that the SEO is going to change your traffic. I've yet to see anybody say, hey, I had bad listing, bad traffic, and then when I change my SEO, boom, up goes the weasel. You can improve your traffic by a little bit, but it's never been where it's significant enough to where you're really excited. Why? And this is the answer to this question that I want to answer, right? By the way, if you are new to this channel, my name is Vlad. I've been selling on Etsy for the past 7 years, and I've sold over 200,000 sales on Etsy by myself with my Etsy shops. And I've also manufactured for other Etsy shops that collectively so far I've done over 100,000 in manufacturing. So I get to see behind the scenes, not just on my Etsy shop, but other Etsy shops. And the things that I share here, I really look at on the ground, people opening on new shops right now, people doing really well or people that don't do well and why. And I really look behind the scenes. And this is where I share with you guys in this channel. So make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification. Now, this is the answer to how to improve your traffic. Low traffic happens for one of 3 reasons, right? Either you're selling a bad product that nobody wants, nobody cares, and there's not going to be that much purchases. Number 2, you're selling a really good traffic, but the traffic volume is not sufficient enough. Or 3, there's both good traffic and both good product, but just too much competition. It's a very kind of a duh, answer, but it's one of those. Now, when I say too much competition, meaning your listing might not be reaching that threshold of really surpassing other competitors. Now, a lot of people think that you need to have good photos, or maybe you need to hire a photographer. If you only had a model in your photos, then it would be better. Now, those are really good concepts to really think about. But when we think about improving our listings, we always think of, well, I need better photos, or I need better SEO, or I need better, it's just this one lump category of a listing. But what I want to do is give you a bit of a different perspective. What really sells? And I said this in my previous video, and it's the video that you commented on. It's the video where I talk about need-based and want-based product. So I want to double down a little bit and give you more of a nuanced answer for specifically targeting this one. Now, a need-based product or a want-based product is, say you're selling a wallet. You're going to sell a wallet and you say, hey, I'm selling a wallet. And somebody that wants to upgrade the wallet be like, okay, I want to get a better wallet. Now it's a want-based product. If they don't get a new wallet, their old phone is just fine. You have to reformat that product into a need-based product. So what you do instead, you don't need to change your product. I'm not here to tell you that all the inventory you have stored up, you need to change and start a new product. Although sometimes that is necessary. Sometimes I tell people, like, have you just thought of just scrapping the whole thing and starting with a different product? But I'm not going to tell you that here because I think there's a better answer to your question. So instead of selling just a wallet, not even just a personalized wallet, but really formatting it saying groomsman gift wallet, personalized groomsman gift wallet. Now, it may be a good trend. It might not. Back in the day, it was a really good product. But what you have done now is that a groomsman or somebody that's getting married, the dude, I don't know what you call a groom, I guess that's how you would that's how you say it. But that guy would feel if he asked his homies to, like, hey, could you guys be at my wedding, and he didn't bring anything, that would be kind of unacceptable, right? Especially different depending on the kind of culture you're in, that you be like, that's kind of unacceptable. So you kind of need to get something, right? And so that's the kind of customer you're selling to. So you're more likely to sell to that customer. So what you now need to do are several things. You need to change your listing that gears specifically towards guys with a darker font, maybe darker leather, maybe having some really dude-like background, redo some photos, and really create this kind of a thumbnail that shows many different types of wallets with groomsmen gift or names and the maybe title underneath that. Now you've intentionally created a listing to a customer that is kind of pushed by his culture to buy a gift. You're selling it to that person. So you've now formatted, you were intentional with your product to somebody that needs to get the product. And then two, you've now changed the SEO to fit that niche or fit that intentionality. So you're not just changing SEO, but you're changing the direction of your listing. Now, I would recommend people do this from the very beginning. This is what I teach in my course. By the way, if you want a free course, check out the link in the description on how I target this exact approach. I do a need-based product, right? I'm selling a bridesmaid's gift box. For example, I could have just said personalized gift box. Now, it could be used for many different reasons, and there might be a good reason that in many cases a gift box is a need-based product, but I was more specific. I said bridesmaid's gift box. If a bridesmaid does not give gifts to her bridesmaid and maid of honor, and she just asks them over text, that's kind of embarrassing. You kind of need to get a little something. Again, that's just a general American culture. If you're watching it from a different country and this makes you sick, I totally get it. I don't know why people do that, but they do. And so, look, I'm here just to sell the product. I'm not here to teach you anything, just to sell the product, right? And so they might put a wine tumbler in there. They might put a candle in there or a pocket mirror. It doesn't matter to me. They're gonna need a box for a bridesmaid's gift box, and so that's what I sold. I sold not only to a customer that has this kind of urgency, but I sold a product that they're gonna get no matter what. And so that's where I didn't just create selling a box. I not even just made a personalized box, but I specifically geared the product. And so what I created in a listing is specifically to that, targeting brides, targeting, and there's one a darker contrast to also to do groomsmen. You can actually expand to other, especially if there's two types of people that are kind of this need base or this urgency approach. That does even better, and I think that's why I think I really got to $600 in sales in a single day, that daily volume. And at day 40 something, I believe it's like 42. By the way, check out, it's a completely free course. That's what I teach you guys. That's what I talk about. That's a big thing that I really care about, is creating an intentionality with your listing. But it requires you to do some research. It requires you to think about what is the urgency, what is the absolutely need, or not just a want, and then creating a listing that targets that. So what happens now is now you are more relevant. So when you're competing with other gift boxes, well, your gift box is tailored to a bride, tailored to a groomsman. And now they're more likely to click on yours because not only do they have a need, but they see that the need can be solved by this thumbnail. And now you have higher relevancy, and you're going to not only surpass past all the competitors, but you're going to be targeting a large traffic, but you're also going to be targeting a traffic that absolutely needs the product. And that's where you're going to win. It's not enough just to see a video on YouTube of somebody recommending a product, but you really got to understand what's the urgency with this product. And I said that to somebody about, by the way, I sell dog collars. That's what I do. The urgency is if you get a dog that doesn't have a dog collar and it runs out, that's a bad scenario. And so that's why I sell that product. But by the way, if you do want to be a seller, check out the link in the description below. I do have a seller program, and I provide mock-ups and everything for you to start selling dog collars. But yeah, so this is where it comes down to. It's not just about changing the SEO. It's about understanding. It's about doing the research and intentionally bringing your listing from both the SEO and the visuals to be more relevant. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. If you guys have more questions, please comment down below. I'll be doing these videos where I'll just sit in front of my camera or my phone and hopefully providing value to you guys. Again, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and until next time, you guys have a great one.